My name is Toan, again. I'm from Bizsecure. I'm the technical director. And I can see that the room is full despite the heavy rain this morning. So I'm very grateful for your presence and even, of course, online. So obviously, today it's, again, a real pleasure to be here and to share more about cybersecurity, more specifically about what we call OT, or Operation Technology, and specifically in the Philippine context. Now, in contrary to some of my colleagues here today, right, again, where they all mostly talk about AI, machine learning, and so on. For me, I want to focus more on a very critical aspect of industry, which is often, I would say, put aside for various reasons. Now, talking about Industry 4.0, first, what is Industry 4.0 and what does it bring, right? Of course, it brings a lot of improvement for industries, manufacturing, and everything, but drastically, it also opens up new vectors for cyber threat. So again, my focus today is going to be on a specific pan of OT, Operation Technology, and to be more specific, why Operation Technology in the Philippines needs a robust privilege access management solution approach, obviously to safeguard our industries against the cyber risk and the cyber threat that are happening. And also, how modern PAM, privilege access management again, solution can provide the security that you need without the complexity that is usually attached to this kind of solutions. I guess, as many of you know, right, Industry 4.0 represents a new era of continuity, autonomous automation, and connectivity, right? There's a lot of different things included inside Industry 4.0, where, for example, you will have smart technology. I already talked about it, AI, machine learning, IoT devices as well. And basically, they are revolutionizing how we manufacture products, how we manage infrastructure, but also how we run cities, basically. So in the Philippines, right, this shift is gaining momentum because industries, I would say it's true everywhere, but even more true in the Philippines, industries are seeking to stay competitive, right, on a global scale. However, like I mentioned, I mean, all of this improvement, evolvement, all of this comes with a heightened exposure to cyber risk. And again, especially in what we call Operation Technology. So again, Operation Technology, which controls our physical world, our critical physical processes and machinery. It was traditionally isolated from our traditional IT network, IT environment, right? Today, with Industry 4.0, it tends to converge. OT and IT together tends to converge. So again, like I mentioned, it brings additional threats, additional vectors for cyber threats to come in. Sadly, the impact of a cyber breach in IT and in OT are actually widely different, if I can say. The impact in an OT environment, right, can be extremely severe, obviously. And besides, I would say, even for IT, besides business operation impact, it can actually impact our public safety and also, obviously, our national security. So, in the Philippines, again, you have heard already since quite a while digital transformation, right? I mean, I guess the word is circulating for quite a while. Obviously, it's making industries more efficient, but also more vulnerable, like I mentioned. And I mean, cyber criminals are not going to wait for you to be ready so that you can start to implement defense, you start implementing cybersecurity solutions. They are not going to wait. They are increasingly targeting OT for a very simple reason. First, obviously, critical infrastructure, as the name implies, has a critical importance. But also because traditionally and historically, OT environment tends to be weaker on cybersecurity. They were not designed to be secure. So if you look at the 2022 report by Philippine DICT, right, you will see that it shows a rising trend in cyber incidents and a specific focus on critical infrastructure. Now, it's obviously a concern, a particular concern. So what I want to mention is that these threats, right, they are not hypothetical. They are real. We have seen globally threats, we have seen cyber attacks that have disrupted power grids, that have halted manufacturing lines, that even jeopardize safety systems in industrial plants. So in the Philippines again, where, I mean, industrial growth is tightly linked to the economic development, right? It's mandatory for the OT environment to be secure. There's no other choice. We have to prioritize the security of OT environment to avoid, obviously, disastrous outcomes. Again, OT systems were not initially designed to be secure, like I mentioned, which makes them particularly vulnerable to cyber threats. And any compromission of industrial system can be extremely serious, like I mentioned already, right? Again, downtime, which is the, I would say, the most obvious one. Downtime, loss of productions, but again, for OT specifically, it could be health, it could be safety risk, and also it could be environmental disaster. So, today, right, in order to cover some of the area of cybersecurity in OT, there's what we call access and identity. Access and identity are what we call consumed by a wide range of stakeholders within or outside of the company, of your organization, of your company. So, obviously, because of that, it proportionally increases, again, the scope, the attack surface, exposing your company and your industry to cyber threat. Everything from physical infrastructure to devices to applications, everything can now become vulnerable. So, stakeholder management, if I can call it like this, stakeholder management is inevitably driving the adoption of identity and access management and privilege access management. So this brings me to privilege access management. Why privilege access management is essential and how did it become so crucial in OT? PAM solutions, for probably some of you that may not be familiar with PAM, PAM solution control and monitor, to make it simple, control and monitor access to critical systems, accessing by privileged, what we call privileged users. What is a privileged users? Privileged users are the people that have the authority to modify configuration, to access sensitive data, or to even manage what we call essential processes. Traditionally, right, deploying a PAM solution in an OT environment was very, very challenging. Why so? Well, basically because of the pure nature of OT environments, right? PAM solutions were designed in IT, but now we are trying to export it to OT. Again, OT and IT are completely different, even though today they are converging. So the challenge is, right, in OT is that you have unique protocols, you have unique systems. For example, you have SCADA systems. You even use very old legacy operating system. In terms of protocols, you have dedicated protocols like Modbus, Profinet, IEC 104. And all of that, you don't find it in IT. It's not really relevant. So it always has been very challenging. And obviously, another part of the challenge is that, historically speaking, PAM solutions were always complex to deploy. It will require you to have multiple servers to deploy. Some of them will ask you to deploy agents on servers, on workstations. So this type of technology was not really compatible with OT. However, today we have the chance, if I can say, to have innovative PAM solutions. We have PAM solutions that have emerged and address all of those challenges: complexity, legacy systems, and so on. And with that, obviously, again, the main goal for a PAM solution in OT is to simplify operations while guaranteeing the availability, which is obviously very, very critical in OT, maintaining productivity, but also eliminate the risk based on users and privileged users. And ultimately, if you're going through the path of Industry 4.0, it's also going to help you addressing compliance and regulations. So we can imagine, right? Actually, I say imagine, but like I mentioned, it already exists, which is a great thing to have. Imagine a PAM solution specifically designed for OT. Not only just for IT and then we port it from IT to OT, but specifically designed for OT. One that doesn't require you to deploy tens of servers, that doesn't require you to deploy agents, that doesn't require you to update every week, every month, every 6 months even. We all know that updating a system in OT is very troublesome. So imagine a PAM solution that can handle your OT protocols, again, like Modbus, Profinet, IEC 104, without all of these troublesome things to deploy and to install. So we can ensure access without adding all of this complexity and interrupting your critical operation. Right? That streamlined approach obviously offers different advantages, like I mentioned. The first one is that, again, it simplifies the deployment of a PAM solution, making it faster to deploy, but also reducing any kind of disruption that may happen. And again, in the Philippines, it's also true for, I would say, the world, having the ability to improve your security posture in OT without disrupting your operation is going to be critical. It's a critical benefit. Secondly, obviously, it's going to reduce the cost, which is, again, one of the main key factors for any company, right? Reduce the cost. Again, you don't have to deploy so many things. You don't have to change so many things. You don't have to waste time reconfiguring systems, and assets. So we eliminate all of this costly activity. And third, obviously, which is still the main goal, it enhances the security by, again, providing an efficient way for you to control, monitor the users that are accessing your system, your critical system. So, again, we reduce the risk, human error, misconfiguration, and so on. So obviously, this kind of solutions, like you see here, is very well suited for industries such as energy, manufacturing, utilities, and so on. And in this environment, right, the ability, again, for OT to be secured without imposing additional burdens, it's not just nice to have, it's necessary. So for the Philippines, having this kind of deployment inside your OT environment, inside the industry, the energy, and so on, is a strategic advantage. Why? Again, as industries continue to evolve, continue to move forward, Industry 4.0, we offer a way to secure OT efficiently, which is, again, dedicated and tailored for your OT environment, which understand the needs of OT systems. Again, and offer you a very easy way to deploy without the need to have all of these difficult things to deploy. So you can protect your critical infrastructure. You can support what we call industrial growth. And obviously, because of the nature of your industry, you can also support and enhance the national security posture. This is not just about technology, right? It's about ensuring that your journey to Industry 4.0 is both secure and sustainable. So by, again, leveraging on PAM solutions to protect OT, again, we can navigate into the Industry 4.0 adventure, if I can say, and we can go with confidence, knowing that, obviously, our most critical assets are protected. To conclude, I think most of you, or most of us even, we are pretty, again, knowledgeable about cybersecurity. Most likely, even for industries, you already have some solutions already in place, like OT firewall, for example, for segmentation, micro-segmentation. Some of you maybe already approach air gap technology with data diode, with bidirectional secure gateway. So this is not new, right? It is not new, but there is, again, one gap which is created by PAM. Until now, it was very, or maybe too complex to deploy. There was too many limitations on that. And you cannot have, again, this kind of gap today. Thankfully, right, again, we can rely on this kind of new technology, this kind of new PAM, to protect our OT, close this gap that was still open until now. Just to end up on a note, again, it's very obvious for everyone, but the risk, again, on cyber attack for critical infrastructure, OT, operation technology, it extends far beyond economic losses. Right? You're not only losing money if you're getting attacked. Such an attack can cause, again, direct physical damages, endangering lives, disrupting essential services as well. The stakes are immense, the consequences could be catastrophic. This is why, right, it is crucial for OT and the industries in general to be proactive in regards to that and to be ready. Implementing a robust PAM approach, it is not just about protecting data. It is about safeguarding your physical world, your industries, but also your nation future. So let's ensure that we are prepared. That is going to be it for me. Again, I would like to thank you everyone for your attention early in the morning and to be present, although again the rain have been hitting very heavily in the Philippines. I would also like to thank the ISOC staff for the organization and thank you again. And of course, if you have any questions, I will be around. So feel free to ask me, feel free to stop me, and we can exchange anytime you want. Thank you, everyone, and have a nice day ahead.
As the digital landscape continues to grow more complex and cyber criminals become more sophisticated, business leaders across industries are growing more anxious. At Bizsecure Asia Pacific, we are committed to deliver the best cutting-edge technology to help companies enhance their security posture. Backed with years of industry knowledge and experience, Bizsecure Asia Pacific delivers top-notch cybersecurity solutions from Europe. With all our solutions certified and qualified with the French Cybersecurity Agency, we can ensure that our solutions are secured and without backdoors. Bizsecure Asia Pacific has a strong presence in Asia with its headquarters in Singapore, but also with teams in Vietnam, Thailand, and the Philippines. Find out more at bizsecure-apac.com.